talk a little bit about this brand. These brands, I should say, um, and what made you jump back into clothing.
Yeah, well, it was an opportunity that presented itself to me.
Okay.
A childhood friend of mine, Radu, who spearheaded a lot of the Rockaware business and license business, state property. He was a real key member in that. Pro-Keds. I met with him, and he was telling me he actually called me to talk about some music, and I asked him about fashion because I was looking to buy another brand, and he told me he had a 4th of November situation and that they had distribution, they had the denim design, and they needed a partner. So that next day, we end up, meeting with a friend of mine. We put the business together, and then we funded the company on 4th of November.
Oh, okay, okay. Wow, that's dope. And so, is that why you call it that, or is there another
No,
reason?
it was based on a love story. So the original designer and his sister parents met in Ecuador on a street called 4th of November. So they wanted to pay homage to that love story because their parents wanted to get them out of Ecuador, and they end up getting into fashion and design. So I got, so we equated to love, art, and design. And I just got married legally on 4th of November as well. So it's like the love story continues.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, married man. Okay,
Yeah, man.
word. That's a good thing. Beautiful thing, actually, especially in these times. So, talk about the brand a little bit and why it's different. I see all these designs. I see like all types of different designs on the wall. In this day and age, where apparel, I don't know. I could be wrong, or maybe I've
Mhm.
aged out, but I don't see it the same as I used to back in the Rockaware days, Sean John
Mhm.
and Academics and all the brands that were out at that time.
Yeah, I think a lot of things back then was a little more simplified. It wasn't about the gift of discovery like how it is now. Same thing with music, same thing with clothes. Everybody want to have that thing that nobody else had. Back then, it was about growing brands for 500, $600 million brands. A lot of the urban wear were behemoths back then. And now it's all about the fit. They have 3 or 4 different fits with the jeans. That gift of discovery, people want to have something more exclusive. Brands don't grow in that space as big anymore, and a lot of people concentrate more on the vertical. So they think about selling online and having brick and mortar stores where they can just design, go to straight from factory to the store or online to build a business. It's more profitable, even though the numbers are smaller, but it's still a great space.
Okay. Now, what's your exact role in the company?
Uh, I guess I played a role as a president right now. That wasn't what we talked about in the beginning. It was supposed to be another silent partner, but as things got a little more hectic and the brand started growing, I started taking on a different role. But I know you asked about what was different with 4th of November. I guess it's our play on denim. We pay a lot of homage to denim. It goes back to early on in America, the working man and what they used to wear, with men who used to paint and have that that look on their denim,
Right.
and guys who worked on the railroads and stuff and have that distressed look. But also, it's all American cone denim. So we wanted to give somebody something that's good quality, but it's affordable luxury. So our price points aren't as high as the $800-900 jeans, but we're giving the same quality. And then we try to do something a little different with some of our, the tops that we have too. Some of the fleece. This is something that we have new that's actually coming out this week.
Okay. Okay. Um, how would you compare the consumer now than back then? We were, I mean, hip hop. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it was just pure hip hop. Now I see different looks in the younger generation, particularly around the fitting. It's a
Hmm.
lot tighter now
Yeah,
than it was
yeah.
back
It's a
then.
European fit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a slim fit and and a loose cut, but I think, like I said before, it's all about people want to be a little more unique now. Before, I think there were guys who followed more trends, but now people want to be trendsetters. So there's that gift of discovery where people want to or these kids want to have that one piece where there isn't a lot of people that has it. And then there's also the scarcity factor that drives a lot of sales when the kids know that there's only going to be 50 or 60 or 70 pieces made rather than, go en masse with it. So that scarcity factor, drives people to these brands because they know that it's not going to be something that's going to be seen all around the world. It's a couple hundred people have it, so you kind of feel cool every time you attach yourself to that brand.
Now, one of the things about Rockaware was that you guys had a roster of people who you were able to push in front of the camera and represent that brand. Will you be working with any artists?
Not really. I wanted to get away from that and let the brand stand on its own. So with 4th of November specifically, we started this artist series where we have these events where we go into each market and we get with local artists and we actually give them the denim to use as a canvas. So they kind of paint whatever they want on it, and we hang that up and show it like art while we show what the brand tastes and feels like inside that same art space. So we want to do that and go to city and kind of introduce the brand like that instead of having the face of the brand. A lot of times when something happens to that artist, whether they get old or they get in trouble, something like that, it affects the brand. And what we're doing different with the Rock 96 or the 1996 clothing line, which is more like streetwear merch. The experience is, with the pop-up shops and what we just did in L.A., and then we had a different one in, New York. We gave people something special where we had D&D. We recreated D&D Studios and had the actual board that we recorded the album on, where Premier recorded half of his life. And we're actually taking the lyrics and bringing them to life. And we have cinematic campaigns. So usually when you see campaigns for a lot of these clothing lines, it's still shots. But we actually have cinematic campaigns. We have some that just dropped at The Rock 96 on IG, and it's all over social right now. And we took each one of Jay's songs and we built a graphic around it and a lyric. So we bringing the graphics to life. So we're always trying to push the envelope and give the people a little something different.
Okay. Has Jay responded to the efforts?
Jay loves it.
Yeah.
He's been in all the, the press releases, supporting the brand. And what I have coming up right now, 14 stores I picked with the Foundation Showroom, who's partnering with us and spearheading this project. It's the top specialty stores in the country. And we gave each store their own song. So in order to get Feeling It, you got to go to Concepts in New York or in Boston. In order to get Brooklyn's Finest, you got to go to Woodstock in Brooklyn. And The Evils is going to be in Social Status. Rather Can't Knock the Hustle, and then Amanier has The Evils. So we wanted to do something special like that so people could kind of have to go all around and kind of search for these different songs. But on December 3rd, we actually having 14 store pop-up shop all around the country where each store is going to have a listening party, break out the new product. And, I'm doing this in celebration for Jay's birthday, which is the next day, right, December 4th.
Dope.
So the birth of Reasonable Doubt and the birth of, Jay, we're going to celebrate all in one.
No doubt. That's crazy. That's dope. This is like this is innovation as far as I can see. I don't see anyone else doing anything like this. How do you think this will translate into sales or awareness? Because I see you have a great presence on social media.
Well, I mean, everybody's gravitating towards it right now. They're saying that they've never seen anything like it as far as these cinematic campaigns are going for. But I have partners now with Anel Pla, who's leading and is our chief strategist, and she's like our creative director when it comes to these campaigns. And my partner David Gensler, who heads innovation. And what we're trying to do right now is just really mash the culture. So there's going to be other products that people probably wouldn't think would match what we're doing right now. We just want to push the culture in a different way. We're working with Astel and Kern, Master Dynamics, and to do special cases, special drops. So we're going to kind of do this collab, but outside of fashion.
Okay. So about a little bit about Reasonable Doubt. When you think back on that album, where were you? What you were and what you guys were about to do? What are your thoughts on it?
Oh man,
20 years later.
I mean, it was a great time for us. I talked about it before. It was my first time really being in the studio, being a part of a process like that. I kind of came on, I guess late, meaning that Dame was in the music business already. He was managing Original Flavor and Future Sounds, managing Jay-Z, and we came together as friends before I became a business partner. Before I gave them an offer that they couldn't refuse, but. I mean, that time it was just like three brothers, not just three, actually probably six or seven, with Tata, Emery, and Beehive, and even Irv Gotti playing a big role early on with helping us with the radio and getting traction, and DJ Clark Kent, can't forget about him as well. But it was a great time. It was just a family feeling, it was just like friends coming together to create this project that end up being a part of history right now. We knew we were doing something great. To say that it was going to be something that stands the test of time, I don't think we thought about that early on. We were just thought about putting out the best product that we had.
Yeah. As it relates to the evolution, you guys obviously are no longer business partners. Are you guys still friends?
Well, we are business partners and friends. So we
Right.
own a lot of projects, and we own music together. We own some other investments together.
Okay.
But we do a lot of part as well. So when we got into the business, we knew we would sell a company over a certain period of time. Like everything that we were doing, we were building to sell. So a lot of people just don't understand the dynamics of that. They just think that once people in business is you sign a contract forever. We just we went separate ways, and everybody wanted to pursue different opportunities and different things, and in a few different fields, and that's what happened. But yeah, we all still friends.
Okay. Now, how's it for you? How is it for you? You're the silent partner. You the force. You know what I mean? And in fact, I saw Angie
not,
Martinez.
not so silent now, right?
Right. How is that? That's a big change from back in the day.
Yeah, it is. It's just we had a blueprint,
Yeah.
so we knew Jay would be the artist, Dane would be the mouthpiece, and would articulate the things that we had on our mind as far as the business and spearhead that, and we just kept to that formula. That's what it was.
That's simple.
Yeah.
So, are you comfortable with the limelight? Because you're
Uh,
kind of almost like the face of this brand right now.
Yeah, I mean it's not a problem. It wasn't like it was a shy thing or something like that. Like I said, we had a blueprint. We just followed the formula. But yeah, I don't mind talking to the people, especially a lot of these young kids anyway. They need the mentorship, they need the direction, and I kind of want to let people know the genesis of where they're getting their ideas from right now. Guys who want to have 50-50 ventures, who want to know about equity and net splits, to know that the spirit of independence and where that started was with Reasonable Doubt. So it's a history lesson as well.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
I interviewed, what was that dude's name? Oh, man. What was his name? Oh, Young Dolph. He pointed out Jay-Z as one of the people he aspired to be like, particularly around the independence, but taking it to that next level.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for these younger cats who want to be where you guys are and were?
Yeah, a lot of people are playing hard these days. I want to say work hard and know everything that you could about your business. Think about your team. Put together a good partnership. A lot of times guys think that they can do it by themselves, and what we learned back then was it's a great team. And everybody could play specific roles, but also, think about the business plan and think about 3 and 4 and 5 years ahead and where you want to take your business and company and how you want to grow.
What was the hardest thing you guys had to overcome?
Early on, I guess probably picking the right team. So a lot of times there was mistakes where lawyers messed up on our first deal with Reasonable Doubt, where we
Mm-hmm.
didn't make any money after selling over 500,000 records. And the trust factor, because we knew we trusted each other so much, it was hard to put that trust in people that we were hiring for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because everybody, you just mentioned John and stuff, like people who were around for years. So you could see
Yeah.
that once they kind of came under that umbrella, they stood there for a long time. Even all the early staff, with Shaka being the president now,
Mm-hmm.
Tata still, co-founder. Jay Brown is here. He's from back in the days in Beehive, running back and forth to Nigeria and starting his telecom and all the things he's doing digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Christie coming back in the fold. It's that that trust factor is hard to build over with new people, but once you have the history there, it's a little easier.
Okay. Now you had to serve some time
Mm-hmm.
over some things related to marijuana.
Yeah.
Um, how was that for you? That was kind of shocking for us to see.
Yeah.
Um, how are you with that now, and how was it for you to go through that?
Well, it was a trying time. I mean, when you get in any trouble, especially being from where we're from, you just think about standing up tall and just doing the time. And it wasn't about as much as how it affected me. It was that snowball effect, how it affected my son, my family, and everybody else down the line. You don't really think about that when you make these bad decisions. You just feel like, okay, whatever happens, come your way, you'll handle it. But a lot of people was hurt, and I had to make amends with that, and talk to them. So I guess that would be the biggest aspect about it. And another one was, a good part about it is my last year in jail, I came to find God. So I gave myself to the Lord, and changed a lot of things and beliefs that I had before. Prior to that, I was an atheist.
Mm.
So there's some good and bad, but that journey was important for me.
Do you have a favorite passage in the Bible?
Uh, Not specifically a passage, but my favorite book is James.
Okay, mine's is Proverbs.
Oh, okay.
Um, so does that affect you business wise? I know the music industry, the fashion industry is ruthless. I've learned a lot of lessons on the job. Has it affected how you do business at all?
Yeah, I look at relationships a lot different now,
Uh-huh.
and I try to treat people differently, and relationships are more important to me.
Mm.
So, we had that same family aspect of business when we got into the music and fashion business. I try to keep that same thing, but I keep the Lord at the forefront of everything I do. I pray constantly, and it's not to say that I'm still not a fallible human being and I don't make mistakes.
Right.
The difference is that I repent and I ask for forgiveness, and I trust, that God is going to lead me.
And real quick, why is James your favorite?
Uh, you know, he says, be thankful for the trials, be thankful for the tests, because with that you'll learn perseverance.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. Um, you had a big role in Kanye's success. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Do you have you? I'm sure you haven't talked to him, but do you have any opinion on what's going on with him now?
No, well, I haven't. I spoke to him when I first came home. He had the listening party in Madison Square Garden. We spoke then,
Okay.
and it's funny because he said he wanted to support 4th of November. He heard that I was doing that through Joe Einhorn at Fancy.com. They were speaking a lot, and I'm only hearing about what's going on in press right now. But I just told a couple people to tell them that I'm praying for him, and I definitely want to reach out, because if there's any truth to what's going on with him personally, I definitely feel for him.
Yeah. So can you tell people? Obviously, we kind of know, but just kind of for the record, what your early involvement was with Kanye on his.
Well, I spearheaded the whole Kanye West project. So College Dropout helped pick the singles. Chase did it, radio, did the marketing plan. I did everything from A to Z with that project. So I was real instrumental in launching Kanye's career. My brother Hip Hop was who found him and was managing him early on. Jay wasn't as involved in the music anymore. He was concentrating on S. Carter and at Rockaware, and Dame was fully at Rockaware. So I would just kind of bring up what was going on day to day, and Dame would get involved, like that. If it was a problem, we'll talk about it, and he kind of be the bad guy for that, and I wore the good hat.
Is Dame paying the price for being that person? Because like, you talk to some people, they love him. Some people,
Yeah.
you know, hate him. Like we talked, like Boyce Watkins, he's a friend of mine.
Mm.
They got a great relationship. Then I talked to Choke no joke, and Choke goes crazy.
Yeah. Well, Dame has been Dame from he's been the same since I've been 14 when I first met him. So it's always, I guess, probably been love or hate relationships, throughout our life. So I don't see anything different. So I wouldn't say that he's paying or not paying for it. Dame is going to be that same independent person and do what he wants to do regardless.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Damn, I'm trying to think of something. I feel like I'm missing something. Do you have any more musical aspirations? Like, are you done with that?
I think I'm done. A lot of people now, because of social, they're asking me every day about music and
Mm-hmm.
uh, is there something that I feel I might want to get back into. Right now, there's no one particular artist that I've heard that would inspire me to get back in the music business. It's kind of tough um, when you created history and you're a part of history to kind
Uh-huh.
of just jump back in. And if it's something that I don't believe in 100%, or think that it's gonna break the mold or do something different to put me on a different stratosphere or what we did,
Mm-hmm.
because no matter what's going on, we still represent Rockefeller. So every time there's a win for Dame, there's a win for me. When there's a win for me, there's a win for Dame and Jay, and vice versa. So I want for us to be etched in that history is exactly where we are. And if I'm not doing anything to help it, I'm gonna stay away from it.
What about the other people like Beanie Siegel?
Mm.
Are you in touch with those guys at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I speak to Beans. I spoke to him about a month and a half ago, but I spoke to him, Freeway, Jim Jones. I speak to probably more than anybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I try to help him out as well, and he's in fashion,
Mm-hmm.
so he's doing a few things. But everybody calls me for advice, man. So I'm here for everybody.
And what do you think about the impact of Rockefeller? We were talking about this in the car, the the family tree, so to speak.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think about Jay-Z,
Hmm.
but they don't think about the actual. That's just kind of like the root. But then it just spawned into all these other people who have careers and clothing lines or other businesses.
Yeah.
How do you guys? I mean, how do you feel about that? Like that part of it?
Well, that's why I hold Rockefeller for one of the, if not the biggest inspiration as far as hip hop, because it went beyond that. It
Mm-hmm.
pushed the culture. So hip hop was one aspect of it, but what we did in business and culture and moved all around the world, I don't think nobody's had that stronghold the way we did. And like I said, with Jay, and with and Dame as well. With he has his projects online, uh, and I don't think it's ever been done before. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it'll be done on that level. There's a lot of people who have success, but it's just in one thing, or maybe two things, but
Mm-hmm.
not three or four and five, right? We got into tech, spirits, sports, fashion, movies, and music.
Mm-hmm.
And we were successful in everything.
How competitive were you guys? Because back in that era, you might have Bad
Very,
Boy. Yeah.
very, yeah. Even with each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, that's how I found uh, platinum, because I wanted to have better jewelry than Dame and J.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
So I
funny.
would always buy the car first, whether it's a Range Rover, then Jay is here and be like, damn, that's how I put it in the verse. Then he'll go buy one. But,
That's funny. Oh, I want to ask you something. This is just personal. In one of my favorite Jay songs, "Come and Get Me," he says, "Ask Biggs." He always finds a gun that I hid. How
Yeah.
true was that?
Yeah, that was true. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yo, I love that record. That record's crazy. You gotta listen to that, young boy.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, cool, man. Yo, I appreciate your time, man. You have any final words?
Nah, just, check out rock96.com, ROC96, and then come holla at me at the Rock 96 on Instagram.